You've never gone through anything in life that you haven't pulled yourself out of. And that's just the truth. If you are new here, hello, welcome to Let's Have Breakfast. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm sitting down, I'm talking to the camera, and we're making it shake. This is kind of weird to be doing video as well because I'm so used to talking and thinking while I talk, and I have a tendency to look up and talk with my hands. So this is a little unnatural. I'm not used to this. So since this is the first time I'm doing this on camera, I figured I would introduce myself. I'm Jadyn Eliz. I am a content creator, and this is also kind of weird for me because I am recording at my apartment, and so it's glass window, and I'm in here and people can definitely see me, and I can see them, and I can see them see me. Oh wow, that air is not playing any jokes. Holy shit. That's just a little bit about me. A lot of things happen every day. I kind of take things day by day, but ultimately I do a little bit of everything. I'm also a podcaster, so Let's Have Breakfast. I started this. I've been thinking about starting a podcast since 2018, and so this was really a way for me to bring all my thoughts, everything I say to my friends frequently, different things like that. It was really a way to bring this to a bigger audience. I didn't really feel like TikTok or Instagram or other platforms that I use regularly were kind of that outlet for me to really talk about the deeper things in life and provide tips and share information. I really wanted to start Let's Have Breakfast because let's have breakfast. I love breakfast. I'm a brunch girl. I'm not really a brunch girl. That's kind of a lie. I love breakfast foods. That's kind of my favorite meal of the day. If I don't have breakfast, I am hangry. I'll be hangry. Actually just happening because it's 11 o'clock and I haven't eaten anything. And so I just got a pastry really quick just to kind of fuel myself. I have a lot of stuff going on today, this week. And so it's the most important meal of the day. This is a place where you can stop, listen, get information that's really important and fun still. We bring the fun, we bring the energy, and you can expect weekly episodes. I swear to you guys, I'm going to be more consistent this season as I'm doing video, as I'm editing. I have a whole rollout planned. So now that I've introduced myself a little bit, let's get into the topic of the day. We're in a season where a lot of things are changing for a lot of people. People are going back to school, people are starting new jobs, maybe they just graduated, they're trying something new for the first time. I think there's a lot of things that are just constantly happening, especially as fall kind of approaches and we're starting to get to that season where things are really busy again. I've at least had a really busy summer, and so I want a break, but I'm in full drive. There's a lot of things happening, but there's also a lot of things that aren't happening. Speaking from my own perspective, I have a lot of things that I thought would come true, a lot of goals that I wanted to hit that I necessarily didn't, goals that I really wasn't able to reach in the timeline that I set for myself, job opportunities that I thought were really gonna come through, and same thing with brands. I'm in a different spot than I anticipated I would be 6 months ago. And so I'm really in this stage of acceptance because there's kind of nothing I can do about it. I mean, I can take measures into my own hands and, continue applying for jobs or looking at places to move or whatever it may be. But I still have to be in this stage of acceptance as I'm still grinding. So today we're gonna talk about what acceptance looks like for you and how you can kind of move forward when you're kind of in this stage of uncertainty and you really have to pick yourself up and get yourself restarted. In these phases that so much is changing at once, for people that are going back to college or people that are starting college for the first time, they are moving into their first place away from home. They're having to meet a whole bunch of new friends. They're joining organizations. They're going to their first 8 a.m. This is the first time they've been fully responsible for finding all of their meals, making sure they get to class on time. Other responsibilities that college students have, like bills and having to find a job and balancing everything together. I think those are experiences that we often don't talk about a lot. I was in that position, so I completely understand. I had to work 2 jobs when I was in school. I had to really make a lot of adjustments very quick, and so it's a really hard time for people. Transition can be really hard for a lot of people because it's uncertain. You don't really know what to anticipate. You haven't been in this position before, so you're learning things as you go. And sometimes it can feel really lonely as well because you don't really know what questions to ask or what to tell people. Maybe you're feeling a little defeated yourself, so you don't really want to, face that with other people. But I think what you can do when you are in this kind of stage of uncertainty, when you are accepting this new stage in your life, what I think you need to do is center yourself, take a deep breath, and know that everything is going to be okay. I am a firm believer that you are not given anything that you cannot handle. And for that reason, you are not going to go through this in vain. You are not going to face these challenges or this new phase that might be really exciting, but it does come with, this uncharted territory. You are not going to experience that unless you were supposed to. You are not going to experience that for no reason. So I think it's really important to ground yourself and do things that remind you who you are. So that could be meditation, it could be going to your regular fitness class, or trying out something new like yoga. I know there's a lot of things changing when you're in this kind of stage, so maybe it isn't best to try something new, but if you're open to it, definitely do it. I think it's also really important just to constantly remind yourself that everything is gonna be okay, because it is. You've never gone through anything in life that you haven't pulled yourself out of. And that's just the truth. You've always survived. So you're gonna survive this too. As you're entering a new stage of life as well, it's really important that you take a second to really take in the moment. You probably are not gonna experience some of these firsts ever again while you're in this new stage of life. So enjoy it. I think that's the beauty of transitioning and really being in a new place, a new chapter of your life. You have the opportunity to make new memories, to try new things, and really immerse yourself in this. So I really suggest trying not to get too wrapped up in the stress of things. I know it's really easy when, me, for example, I'm moving right now, so it's really hard for me to kind of distance myself and be excited because everything is really stressful, from packing to, changing the Wi-Fi over, getting our energy set up. All of those things are really stressful. But it's so exciting that I'm moving. It's so exciting to be in a new place. And so I have to really push myself to remember that this is exciting, this is a good thing, and remove some of that stress, because ultimately you want to enjoy this new chapter of your life. So allow yourself to feel that. At the same time, it's okay to be stressed too. And it's okay to feel those feelings as well. To find a healthy balance between the two, allow yourself, maybe you get really stressed out. You're getting ready to do all these things and you just are so overwhelmed that you almost can't function. Maybe you give yourself an hour, you take a break, you reset, allow yourself to be stressed. Sit in it. That shit sucks. It sucks. And it's okay that it sucks. So allow yourself to have a moment, take a deep breath, recenter yourself, and then list out all the reasons why this is such an amazing thing. Because ultimately, things are not always going to work out how you expect or hope or plan. And so if they don't, it's okay to be upset about it, but you can't sit and wallow in it. You have to do something. You have to look towards the positive and pick yourself up. I think you should also take time to sit and reflect and think about if you're in the place that you want to be, if what you're doing feels good and feels aligned with your goals and where you want to take your life. Because sometimes these new chapters, these new stages, they're not for nothing, but it also might be to show you that this isn't really what you want. So I think making sure you're doing monthly check-ins, 3-month check-ins, 6-month, whatever you decide that cadence is, make sure you're checking in with yourself and that you are aligned with your purpose, you are aligned with your interests, and you are really doing that self-work to make sure you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of success and not just 6 months or a year or whatever it may be. You are continuing to evolve, and that's exciting. It's also okay to be stressed and overwhelmed, but ultimately respect it, have a good time, enjoy it. And for today's listener letter, we have, what advice do you have for someone entering their freshman year of college? Honestly, because I had such an interesting kind of different freshman experience where I didn't live on campus, I didn't have like a dining program, or I didn't have a dining plan. I had to commute to school. And then too, like I was in a sorority. I dropped. We're not gonna, maybe that can be an episode of its own, but we're not gonna talk about it right now. But even that, like, rush happened traditionally later than a lot of other PWIs, which PWI stands for primarily white institution, which Wichita State was. As far as advice goes, I honestly think it's really important to be involved. I know maybe leadership activities and like things like that might not be everyone's speed, but for me personally, I think that really pushed me to excel in school and now set me up like for a good career. I was really, really involved on campus. I was in, even like starting freshman year, I was in a lot of organizations, which then transitioned into being in leadership positions for those organizations. And so that really built the foundation for me to be able to, one, communicate really well, work with a team, understand different perspectives. Like, I think that's really important, being in organizations with other like-minded people, yes, but also be in places where maybe the views conflict and you really have to do that personal work to understand what your personal beliefs are and how you want to lead or how you want to do things, like whatever that may be. But I don't think it should be all like leadership based or like I have to learn something from this. You can have fun things too. But I think I was able to build such an amazing community just by being involved and getting to know people on campus. And so that's what I would suggest. I would suggest getting involved in any way you can. Maybe it's intramurals, maybe it's organizations. That would be my advice. Get involved. Don't be shy. Put yourself out there. The worst someone can say is no. And you're going to get no. You will get no at some point. Whatever it may be, don't be scared of the no. Put yourself out there. The right fit will find you, but you will not know unless you're putting yourself out there and trying to join these organizations and getting involved. Okay, now that I'm more comfortable, this is the first video episode, and so I think it's taken me a little bit of time to talk, ease myself into this, get used to talking to the camera versus just like looking around and doing different things. For those of you that are not watching video, I will try my best to make sure other episodes don't feel like, oh, I'm missing something by not watching this video, or I'm not, tapped in, because I want you to feel just as engaged as my video audience here as well. But I appreciate you bearing with me while I am working through some of the kinks, getting this, podcast off the ground. It is not easy, as I've said so many times. It takes a lot of grit and determination to make this happen, but I love doing it. I love you guys. I love all the support that I get. And so it's really important for me to make sure I'm pouring that same energy back into this. So thank you so much for bearing with the kinks. It will be worth it in the end. So I hope you learned something from this episode. If you take nothing else away, it is to be confident in your purpose. Know that the hard times will pass, and try and enjoy something along the way. When it's hard, try and enjoy something. For more Let's Have Breakfast, please follow at breakfast.pod on Instagram. We'll be posting all the updates, all the fun things on there as well. But make sure you're subscribed and you give a glowing review. Make sure you are aligned with your purpose and you are accepting this new stage of your life.